Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's Spur video. We're going to have a look at the weather. It's 10 to 14 days for today's Spur video. Day 10 will take us to 23rd of June and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the excellent GFS and ECM ensembles over on 20 weeks. We'll have a look at CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. That gets us into the first half of July, well into the first half of July, and I shall get on with that for you in a moment. Just say that the first video today was our 6 AM UK weather forecast. That came back today. And we've released Terry Scott's delayed June and summer 2024 forecast as well, by the way. So, that should be released on the 1st of June, but of course I was in hospital there with my fractured ankle. So that's been released, today. So if you want to know what Terry was forecasting for June and is forecast for the rest of the summer, then check out that video. Like, share, subscribe on all day videos and content. Show everyone for doing that. Hold on. Okay, thanks so much everyone for doing that. Right, I've got to say thank you so much to my good friend Lee Stevens, who gave a donation to GavsWeatherVids via our PayPal page. Thank you so much, Lee. That is unbelievable, my friend. Thank you so much for your donation that you gave to me and to GavsWeatherVids while I was in hospital. Very, very kindly. He's also a channel member and super chatted on the live streams as well. So thank you so much for your support, my friend. That's unbelievable. If you'd like to give a donation to GavsWeatherVids, just go to the GavsWeatherVids PayPal page. You can find the link in the description. Sign into your PayPal account, log in, and you can donate whatever you want. You get a shout out in the videos, and thank you so much everyone for doing that. You can also become a channel member for GavsWeatherVids. Just click join button. £4.99 a month, you become a channel member. You can super chat, super thanks, super chat on the stream, super thanks on the videos. So various ways of supporting the channel. Thank you so much to each and every one of you for your kindness and generosity. And a special thank you to Lee Stevens. Thank you so much, Lee, for your donation. That is unbelievable. Right, going to start our centering temperature. The CT is now sitting at 12.1, which is 2 degrees below the 61 to 1990 average. Actually provisional to yesterday, to the 12th of June. I think that's going to say generally around that sort of level. May tick up slightly, but generally around that level up to the middle part of June, up to mid-month, 15th. Sorry again, everybody. And then we shall see where we go after that into the second half of the month. This could tell us a little bit. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles the next couple of weeks. We're at London today. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for London. We're starting off below average at the moment. We're going to see the upper air temperatures returning closer to normal, though, as we go through the third week of the month. And then into the last week of June, we actually see the upper air temperatures lifting up and going warmer than average then. There is a bit of a warming trend in evidence from where we start at the start of the ensemble right now to where we end up here. There are 1 or 2 hot outliers, but they are outliers at the moment. But definitely I think we might see a warming trend into the last week of June anyway. Possibly signs of summer. Precipitation-wise, so lots more unsettled weather to come for the next week. This looks quite alarming, means precipitation spikes here into the third week of June, and then into the last week of the month, where we just keep things looking pretty showery, really, with further precipitation spikes. Well, there might be a bit of a drying trend opening up there into the last week of June, but the most unsettled weather looks like it's going to be in the next week to 10 days, and as I say, particularly wet around this period just here. Right, so temperature anomalies from the 13th, 21st of June coming out a little bit below average. So up to 21st of June, still cooler than average temperatures hold sway. And precipitation anomalies from the 13th, 21st of June. Well, look, it's really quite wet across southern eastern parts of the country. That, of course, would be down to this or these rainfall spikes just here. So, generally, it's a wet and average scene, though, for the next week across much of the country, 13th to 21st of June. So, again, everybody, latest wind from out from earth.nullschool.net shows we've got low pressure in the Atlantic between Greenland and Iceland and bringing quite an active weather front from off the Atlantic. Quite strong winds coming in with that, and also some outbreaks of rain moving from west to east. Right, let's start going through the chart data then. Latest UK Met Euro looking like this weeknight on Sunday. Low pressure right over top of country, bringing showers, long spells, rain, and that unsettled weather carries on into the early part of next week as well. But then, middle of next week, there's a movement from the Azores high. So the Azores high starts to build up from the southwest, gets a ridge going over to the east coast. That would turn things a little bit drier and warmer through the middle part of next week. You wouldn't go over the top with it being summer-like, but certainly a little bit dry and warmer anyway, middle part of next week. Still perhaps a bit unsettled though in the north and the west. Icon, again, that low pressure right over the top of the country on Sunday, and the low pressure still sitting there into the early part of next week as well, under that trough of low. And unlike the UK Met, Icon just keeps the low pressure going, actually, into the middle and the second half of next week. No real movement from the Azores high up to midday next Thursday. The GFS midnight run again has that area of low pressure sitting right over top of the country on Sunday with showers and or longer spells. Rain low pressure eases away into the middle part of next week with higher pressure starting to ridge into the west. But then we get this low pressure developing down to the south and the east. Now, there's a lot of very warm air on the eastern side of that low. This is what brings that big deluge, big precipitation spikes that we saw on the GFS ensemble, by the way. There's some very warm air being drawn up from the south on the eastern side of that low. We're actually on the cool side of the low, bringing wind in from the north and from the northeast. But the contrast between the two air masses produces a lot of heavy and potentially quite thundery rain. Beyond that, though, days 9 and 10 builds high pressure quite strongly across the north and the west of Europe, so start to turn much drier and warmer then as we get towards day 9 and 10. And then into the extended range where high pressure sits to the northeast, low pressure in the southwest, this low throwing up further bands of rain, maybe some thunder mixed in. Meanwhile, the high pressure to the north and the northeast brings the wind in from a very warm northeasterly direction, very warm easterly direction, I should say. Upper air temperatures looking really much warmer as we get through there to the 25th of June. And then into what looks like a rather volatile pattern into the final days of June. We get to the 29th, this trough of low meandering in from the west. But it looks like the wind is generally southerly through that last week of the month, which is a warm wind direction, of course. But with low pressure involved, expect showers and or long spells of rain and possibly even some thunder. But GFS V2, once again, showing that area of low pressure right over the top of the country on Sunday into Monday and Tuesday, where we keep further low pressure coming, and then higher pressure starts ridging in from the Atlantic. That thundery low, that low just there, more over the Low Countries and France, but in across England and Wales through the middle part of next week with GFS V2. So there's a lot of uncertainty about it, and I wouldn't be that confident but we get a big deluge through the middle of next week. We might do, but it's a long way off, so just got to watch your space in terms of that little low. Up to day 9-10, same trend for GFS V2, as you see on the midnight run. High pressure starts building quite strongly over and to the north of the country. That turns things drier and warmer as well around days 9 and 10. Upper air temperatures lifting up quite nicely. And then into the closing week of the month. Well, again, high pressure dominated to the northeast, ridging through the country. Lots of dry, warm, fine weather, maybe very warm, fine weather to come. Until you get to the very end of the GFS V2, and then some sort of a thundery trough is starting to ease up from the south, maybe bring some heavy downpours. If you're enjoying the video, please can you like, share, and subscribe. If you show which everyone for dear Matt, why not drop a comment, let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe to. Help to get us to 18.3k. It would be amazing if you could all do that for us. Thank you so much, everyone. Sorry once again. GM, again, with low pressure right over top of the country on Sunday, bringing showers and long spells of rain into Monday and Tuesday. Yes, we keep low pressure sitting over and to the northeast of the country, further bouts of rain to come. But GM doesn't really settle things down into the second half of next week either. In the south, it starts to turn a little bit drier and warmer maybe, but always an influence from low pressure, especially so to the north and the west. So out of all of the sort of days 9 and 10 model output, I think the GM is more low pressure dominated. Let's see what the ECM is doing though. Don't want to prejudge anything. So the ECM again showing low pressure over country on Sunday and into the beginning of next week. Low pressures keep sitting over and to the east, and high pressure starts ridging in from the southwest. Things a little bit drier and warmer into the south, but unsettled still in the north and the west. The east area is somewhere in between the GM and the GFS, I think. So the GFS by this point, days 9 and 10, 22nd, 23rd of June, the GFS is really building high pressure very strongly by that point. The GM much weaker with the high pressure. The east probably does turn things dry and warmer down in the south, but would still be rather unsettled away to the north and to the west there. This is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from meteo.com. So in comes today's wet and windy weather across the country, and then we've got showers and longer spells of rain to come through the remainder of the week into the weekend. Well, further showers still knocking around, but they do start to ease as we get into the early part of next week, and most of the rain generally trending towards the north and west. You'll notice the south and east definitely has a bit of a drying trend there as we go through next week up to day 10. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensemble today for day 10. Gets us to the 23rd of June. 14 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure to our east and low pressure is away to the west. That will draw up some warmer air from the southwest and will be quite a lot drier as well. We've got 12 with high pressure right over top of the country. That could be drier and warmer. 8 with high pressure sitting through the country as well. 7 keeps the low pressure coming. Low pressure in the Atlantic with further wet weather heading in from the west. 6 with high pressure to the south. Low pressure is away to the north. Winds are flat and westerly. And then we've got 4 with high pressure over to the east country. Low pressure is out to the west. And winds are coming up from the south bend. So that's going to be mostly dry and quite warm, you would hope. Different trend there for higher pressure to be much more involved by around day 10 with something drier and warmer. Now, look at this. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. Gets us to the 28th of June. 11 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure ridging up from the southwest. Should be quite a lot dry and warm weather with that. We've got 10 with a nice ridge from the Atlantic into northern Europe, again mostly dry and warm. Another 10 with a big area of high pressure right across the north and the west of Europe. Another 10 with weaker pressure, though a little bit on the showery side with that one. And then finally 10, or another 10, yet another 10, with high pressure to the north of the west, some sort of trough around the Low Countries. Now that could be a little bit showery for the east. There is a definite trend here towards high pressure through the last week of June, which would bring drier, warmer, dare I say it, the arrival of summer, drier, warm weather, and the arrival of summer. Right, let's just have a look at CFS V2, and then we're done. These are 500 millibar. High time is broken down into weekly periods. The first week period will take from the 13th to the 19th of June. Next week, we'll have low pressure over UK and Ireland. High pressures away to the north, looking very unsettled in the weekend. Week 2 will be the 20th to 26th of June. Low pressure in the Atlantic and to our south. Higher pressures away to the east. Showers and or longer spells of rain. Then week 3 is going to be 27th of June to the 3rd of July. High pressure is to the north and winds are coming in from an easterly direction. So mainly dry, very warm, possibly, do I use the H word? Hot? Maybe too early for that. And week 4 will be the 4th to the 10th of July. High pressure then is between Greenland, Iceland and Scandinavia. I wonder if there could be some sort of trough of low through here in the end underneath that block. Possibly there could do. But it's wrong its way, so it's not worth worrying about. Let's concentrate on the last week of June, where we might see the arrival of summer. We shall see. Time will tell. If you enjoyed the video, please you like, share and subscribe. And show everyone for doing that. Why not drop a comment? Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe to show everyone for doing that. Tomorrow, guys, a 6 a.m. UK weather forecast. I think we've got Jamie Friday coming up tomorrow as well, and a 10 to 14 day. So gradually it's all coming back. Thank you so much for all of the lovely comments on yesterday's return video. Absolutely blown blown away, you know, by the response. So thank you so much, so much, everybody. And yes, gradually the content is starting to come back and return. Well, that's it for this video, mate. You enjoy the rest of your Thursday afternoon, evening. That's it for this one, and thanks for watching.